Hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing well. I've got another video for you today. This time we are doing a TTM video to show my latest returns that have come in over the last 2 weeks since my last video, where I send cards out to various players requesting their autographs with a personalized, individualized letter to the player, and a bunch of them came in. So and I was thinking about doing it on a weekly basis, but I kind of let them kind of pile up. So that I got a big stack of them and can make a video with a bunch of them. So without further ado, let's get into this latest batch of Through the Mail cards. First off, we've got Dale Berra. Dale Berra was Yogi Berra's son. He played for the Pirates. He also played for the Yankees, and I think his dad went and managed the Yankees when he was playing for them. So they were both kind of on the same team or associated with the same team at the same time, which is pretty cool. But I went with the 1985 Topps. I just love this set in general. I've always loved this since I was a kid. But this card in particular, I thought the bluish bright background would make a signature pop a little more, which it does, and I think it looks great. He charges $5 for his signatures. Next we have Larry Sorensen. Larry Sorensen was a pitcher for the Brewers in the 70s, and then he went and played for the Cubs. I think he finished around 86, 87-ish. But he signed 3 for me, which is pretty cool. And then next, this is one I really like. This one. This is from Rob Blake, Hall of Fame hockey player who played for the Avalanche. I did send 3 cards to him. I sent a 1990 score as well, which he returned unsigned, so he only signs 2, I guess. So keep that in mind if you do decide that you want to send one to Rob Blake. Just send 2. I mentioned I was from Denver and was a big fan of him when he was on the Avs, so thankfully he signed the Avalanche card that I had, although the corner got dinged in the mail, but still a cool card to have with him with an Avs uniform. He also signed his rookie card from Upper Deck, so that's a cool one as well. So very happy to get Rob Blake. That's probably one of the cooler ones I got. Next up, we have Mark Eichhorn. Eichhorn, did I pronounce it right? I don't fully remember him from the 80s, but I remember his cards, and he signs, and he was on the Blue Jays, and he was a pitcher. And I think he puts like his favorite Bible references or whatever. I'm not religious, so I don't usually look those up, but a lot of players tend to do that, and he is no different from those that do. But got 87 Topps, 88 Fleer, and 89 Topps. And they all look pretty good, so that's a cool one. And then got some basketball ones. Here's one for Bill Hanslick. He is a Denver Nugget. He's also in the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame. Not the national one, but the local Colorado one here. But he's a big TTM guy, and he signed 2 cards for me. So pretty happy to get those. I got these on the same day. Craig Elo, how do you pronounce that? I don't know. But anyway, he signs through the mail as well. Ended up getting the same Flair and Hoops card, which I tend to have lots of those. So this one was really cool. This is Ron Nischwitz. Am I pronouncing it right? Ron Nischwitz. He was a Tiger back in the early 60s. He wrote me like he gave me 2 letters with his, and normally they don't write back, but he wrote me like a handwritten one, and then he also had like one that was sort of pre-typed up, but he added a little bit extra. Like I had mentioned how I was a big Tigers fan, and I love learning about the old historic players from before. And he wrote me back saying, "Thanks for your letter. I hope you continue to be a Tiger fan. I plan to go to a game soon. I am thankful to be one of 5 players still alive from the 1961 Tigers team that won 101 games and finished to the New York Yankees, Ron Nischwitz. P.S. I also played 2 years with the Denver Bears before playing with the Tigers." I think he noticed that I was from Denver, and so he wanted to point out that he was the Denver Bears. He also sent this like typed out letter as well, and he added some like extra stuff in it. But he writes in it, Thank you for your letter and request for an autograph. My most memorable moment during my major league playing days came at a time I wasn't in the game. It happened during a game at Yankee Stadium in 1965. It may have been Old Timers Day. The Detroit Tigers were playing the New York Yankees, and the Yankees were recognizing Mickey Mantle. It was a standing room crowd of over 65,000 people. Mickey Mantle was honored before the game on the pitcher's mound. The crowd gave Mickey a standing ovation and wouldn't stop. You could see Mickey was emotionally moved by the tears running down his face. He could hardly speak and accept his recognition. I cannot remember what the Tigers did in the top of the first inning. In the bottom of the first inning, Mantle came to the plate to another standing ovation. Our pitcher, Joe Sparma, walked to home plate and shook Mantle's hand. The crowd would not stop cheering. Sparma then proceeded to strike out the Mick. And then he writes, probably my second most memorable moment occurred against the Yankees in 1961. I had just been promoted to the Tigers. We were tied with the Yankees for first place. I don't remember the inning, just that it was my first major league appearance, and I was facing Mickey Mantle with bases loaded, nobody out, and 3 balls, no strikes on one of the best players in the game. I remember thinking, if I walk Mantle, or if he hits a home run, I will probably be returned to the minor leagues and possibly not have another chance to play in the majors. I walked off the mound and remembered what my AAA manager, Charlie Metro, had told me. When you are in trouble, use your best pitch. I got back on the mound and threw 3 straight fastballs. The first 2 were fouled to the screen, and the third a sacrifice fly to center field. I passed the test and stayed with the Tigers. They are still my favorite team. Thanks for your interest and best wishes in pursuing baseball history. Thanks for being a Tigers fan. I will be at the Mets game next week. Sincerely, Ron Nischwitz, Indians, Mets, and Tigers, and then he wrote in Denver Bears 61-62. So I think he was kind of proud of his Denver Bears thing. I already thought I would find that interesting, which I do. So that was really cool of him. But that's cool that he sends all that stuff and like the letters. It's kind of almost like a pen pal sort of thing. But very cool. You should send one if you've got Ron Nischwitz and write him a letter, and maybe he'll respond to you as well. Next up, we have another Blue Jay. This one is Garth Eorg, which I'm not sure what, is he a shortstop? I don't know, it just says infield on that. I don't remember what his position was. Oh, third base and second base. Okay. So I've got his 1985 Topps card, 1988 score, which this one was probably not a good choice. As you can see, like the signature kind of gets lost in it. 1987 Topps as well, which that was a great choice for that because the signature just looks great on that one. Although his signature is kind of scribbly. It kind of looks like a little kid did it, but that's cool. There's Garth Eorg. His brother, I think, is Dane Eorg. He signs as well through the mail, which I got him earlier, and I think he was in one of my previous videos. Next up, we have Joe Theismann, which he's got a really signature. Sorry, the cat's making a lot of noise over there. But really cool signature football cards. I don't have as many football cards. I'm not as big of a football fan, but figured I would send a couple to him. Next up, I've got White Sox, Lamar Johnson. He was kind of in the 70s, early 80s. That was before I was old enough to really follow baseball, but had some cards of his, so I sent them to him. He played first base for the White Sox back in the 70s, 80s. And then next seems to be like a theme of Blue Jays today. So here is Dennis Lamp. He's a pitcher for the Blue Jays and Red Sox. And he signs in black marker, which it seems like none of them are using black these days, but got the 85 Topps, which is cool, 86 Topps, and 89 Topps. So those are all really cool. Super happy to add those to the collection. And then we've got another basketball one. Here is Greg Anthony. If you guys remember him from the early 90s. I guess he played throughout the 90s, but started off with the Knicks and went on to play for a few other teams. But cool signature. Here's one who tends to be a big favorite. You see him pop up on the Facebook page all the time with people getting returns from him. Johnny Ray. It took me a while to like pick out cards to send to him Seems like a lot of the pictures on his cards are not conducive to signatures. They are just very dark for some reason. But I tried to choose ones that his signature would show up on. The 85 Topps was probably a bad choice, but the other two, his signature shows up pretty well. So I went with, and I just thought the Upper Deck one just has a cool picture. They had such great photography with Upper Deck. So cool cards for Johnny Ray. And then here's an 1980s A. This is Chris Cotterelli. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but anyway, there he is. We've got him in 84 Topps, we got him in 86 Topps, and we got him in 87 Topps. Cool signature. Glad to add those to the collection. Now we're doing some hockey. Some more hockey, I guess, because we did Rob Blake before, but here's David Shaw. Played for the Rangers in the early 90s, late 80s. Here's one, and I believe he charges like $5. Don't quote me on that, but Robert Parrish. Basketball cards in general, I find it so hard to find ones that are like light enough where the signatures will show up. For some reason, just the audience in the background of basketball cards always looks really black, so there's just always a lot of dark behind them, and then if they have like a dark uniform, there's just no place to put a signature. So I chose two cards in which he's wearing a white uniform, thinking that the signature would show up better on those. So I went with the Upper Deck and the Hoops one, and sure, they look great. So that was, I think he was $5. This one took a while. I sent these out in like May, I think. But here's Dave Dravecky. Went with the 86 Flair and the 89 Topps. I thought the 89 Topps was just a really good portrait of him, so I chose that one. And 86 Flair was just a really pale looking one, so I figured that the signature would jump out on that, and I was right. They look great. Joe Hesketh, he's one of those guys who only likes to sign one. He does not like to sign more than one, so pick the card you want to get signed when you send it to him, because he'll sign whichever one he chooses, and it may not be the one that you want. So he's just a one signature only guy, but really good, really cool looking card. Here's a 1960 Topps, Joe Amalfitano, which he's got to be getting up there in 8 years. He's 1935, so he's gonna be 90 this year, or he's already 90, so he's 90 and he's still signing. This is a really beat up 1960 Topps, but looks great with his signature. And then here's a Tiger, which normally I kind of focus on Tigers, but I was hitting the Tigers really hard in the beginning of my submission adventure, and so I'm not getting as many Tigers right now, but I did get John Doherty, which his look pretty good as well. It's really shiny, but really cool. And then here's one, Greg DiPino. It's on the Cubs and the Cardinals. He has a pitcher, just really cool. And then probably my favorite submission that I got back, hopefully these won't shine too much, but we got Jose Canseco. And I went with the 1986 Rookies card. I think you got these in rack packs. I remember I had this when I was a kid, and I always loved this card. This was my favorite Jose Canseco card when I was like a little kid, and so I really wanted this one signed, and of course he signed it, which looks really good. Sorry, it's really glaring back because I have it in top loader. I also got I should have taken these out first. The Donruss opening day, I believe this set is called, is with the burgundy borders. And then a 1989 Topps Tiffany, which this is one of the Tiffany ones rather than the regular 89 Topps, which I absolutely love Tiffany cards. I didn't even know they existed until a couple of years ago and kind of bumped into some, and it's kind of a really cool way to collect like 80s junk wax, because they're not junky and they're limited, and they look really great with their glossy finish and whatnot. So I whenever I can, I like to get these autographed, and Jose Canseco signed the 1989 Topps Tiffany. So that's it for my submissions for this time around. I hope you guys enjoyed those. If you guys are doing this as well, let me know like which players you've gotten recently, or which ones you're like really hoping or shooting to get in the near future. There's a few that I want to get. I got to redo Andre Dawson. I sent it to him back in May, and I think it got lost, so I've got to like do another one to him. I'm gonna do Juan Marichal, and Goose Gossage is another one I'm gonna do, and the Chicken and Cecil Fielder are ones I need to still get. But yeah, so really happy with all the cards that came this time, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.